Mathematics is in everything that we do, from making that monthly budget to buying things on hire purchase. We all agree, math counts. In today's Jamaica Magazine, we explore this topic as we observe Math Week. Welcome, I'm Theodore Henry. It's also International Women's Day, so we hear from some of our leading ladies on its importance. We start things off with this timely message.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, March 8. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has promised to lead a frugal and efficient government while building public trust. He made the commitment on Tuesday at the swearing-in ceremony for the new ministers of government. Andrea Chisholm has more in this report.
As he begins his new term in office, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has appointed 18 cabinet-level ministers to oversee 14 ministries. They were sworn into office by Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen in a ceremony at King's House. During his address, Prime Minister Holness said the structure of the cabinet was an important signal to the country, particularly investors and entrepreneurs, about his administration's commitment to fiscal prudence.
For us to accomplish this, it requires a mature political outlook and the building of public trust. Trust that as a government, we will be frugal with the public's affairs. And that this takes precedence over our own personal desire for status.
The Prime Minister also reiterated his intent to prioritize economic growth, job creation and debt reduction. As part of that, agriculture has been paired with industry and commerce to accelerate and intensify their integration. And a ministry responsible for economic growth and job creation has been established within the Office of the Prime Minister.
The benefit of the ministry, aside from investment and growth promotion activities, will be the central coordination and logistical planning of the growth agenda. But more importantly, the political imprimatur of the Office of the Prime Minister on getting our projects approved and getting the growth agenda advanced, accelerated, and implemented.
As part of reducing public debt, Prime Minister Holness said government would build a stronger local government structure and improve its efficiency and business processes. He has meanwhile charged the cabinet ministers with ensuring the highest level of integrity in conducting their jobs, warning that corruption would not be tolerated.
While ministers are not required to be subject specialists, they are expected to display very quickly a grasp of the subject area, articulate solutions, lead, and inspire confidence. I am confident that the persons chosen will do all these things and more.
Visit jis.gov.jm for a full list of the new cabinet. For JIS News, I'm Andrea Chisholm.
In the meantime, the new cabinet ministers have signaled their intention to get working right away. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says based on his assessment, the threat of two viruses should be at the top of his ministry's agenda.
The threat of ZIKV and H1N1, to my mind, should occupy the minds of all of us to help Jamaicans to know what they need to do to prevent it, to play our part as a government through the healthcare system, to whether through vaccination or otherwise to better protect ourselves or to treat if people are infected.
Shoring up support for national security will be the focus for Minister of State in the Ministry of National Security, Senator Pernell Charles Jr.
We intend to create the kind of system that is sustainable and effective. It is going to require for us to reach across and to collaborate and to do things in a different way. We're going to bring in the kind of technology and systems and innovation that will help and empower our security forces.
Transport Minister Mike Henry says his immediate plan is to work on the multimodal integrated plan.
My immediate plan is to ensure we begin to dredge the port as urgently as possible, connect the railway in terms of the movement of goods and services, and also to look at the whole transport structure, which needs to be improved on overall.
And Finance and Planning State Minister Favour Williams has pledged to continue Jamaica's good relationship with the International Monetary Fund and other international development partners.
But also to use the Ministry of Finance to help to support the growth agenda in whatever way, shape or form that is possible.
In other news, the International Monetary Fund IMF has confirmed that it will conduct the 11th and 12th quarterly review of Jamaica's performance under the extended fund facility in May. In a release, the IMF says the two reviews were combined to give the government time to form the new administration following the general elections. The statement follows a March 4 meeting between Prime Minister Andrew Holness and an IMF delegation. The IMF agreed to continue close and open dialogue on the design of the policies needed to remove obstacles to strong and sustained economic growth. Testing for the Zika virus has started at the upgraded University of the West Indies Virology Lab. This means the country no longer has to send samples overseas for confirmation, which sometimes took up to 2 days for results. The UWI Virology Lab now produces results in 3 hours, following a $10 million upgrade in equipment and staffing. And finally, as the world celebrates International Women's Day, countries are being called on to take action to protect the rights of women and girls and to rectify long-standing gender inequality. Executive Director of the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, Dr. Babatunde Osotimihin, says gender equality and equal protection of human rights are important to achieving internationally agreed upon social and economic objectives. The Executive Director says the UNFPA will continue to push until all women and girls are on an equal footing with men and have the power and the means to exercise their basic human rights. Meanwhile, Minister responsible for gender, Olivia Grange, says she will be striving for gender parity on the island.
One of my first priority is to ensure that we present a proper gender policy and a balance, rather than just thinking of just the issues of women, although those are important, very important.
And that's it for GIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thank you for watching.
I'm young, gifted, and violence-free.
I will stand up for peace. No matter what you say, you can't take that away.
I'm young,
gifted, and violence-free.
I choose to live.
I choose to be me.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, the next few days are being observed as Math Week, and there are a number of activities happening to create a culture of greater appreciation for the subject. Get some info on the week's activities right now from the Education Ministry.
Some marine, yeah?
Yeah, man, we have the package 6 for 1,000.
6,000. Yeah. How much I want?
Yeah, man, 2 bays I want.
Yeah, man, the one that's yeah, man. Same. Alright,
what one, cat?
You don't know, I sit downtown the other day there.
Oh.
All the brethren, them man, we buy and sell marina. One of them I sell a 6-pack for $1,000 and the next one I sell one for $200.
So where buy?
Buy 5 of them for $1,000. Think them can't rob me.
So Uncle Fancy is the same $1,000 you would spend to get the 6? Seriously?
Tell them again now, my math brains.
Math count.
Math count.
And that's the theme for National Mathematics Week 2016, which runs from March 6 to 11. The week, first celebrated in 2013, is part of the Ministry of Education's effort to improve the performance of students in mathematics. It's being done through the National Mathematics Program, which has 2 main objectives.
The first, to improve teacher and teaching quality at the primary, secondary, and the tertiary level. And the second, to improve the attitudes to the teaching and learning of mathematics, with particular focus on increasing the awareness of the Jamaican population to the relevance and the importance of mathematics.
Math Week has become an annual fixture on the calendar of the Education Ministry. This year, it's bigger and better with even more activities. On Tuesday, March 8th, there will be a major workshop for a select group of principals and teachers.
We looked at the data last year for grade 4. We found that despite the general upward movement, these schools were still struggling. They either had not moved or had some slight fall off. So we've targeted those principals and teachers for this special workshop.
The workshop will feature a math specialist from Singapore and is being done in partnership with Book Merchant Limited, the local representative for Scholastic Singapore.
Scholastic Singapore is the company that we're working with to introduce Scholastic Prime Mathematics to Jamaica. It's a Singapore math-based program that we introduced about 3 years ago. It is now on the recommended list. The ministry has reviewed it. The schools are using it. We see it as a game changer.
Game changer, as it will show teachers how to break down difficult math concepts and help students to better grasp those concepts. For Math Week 2016, there will also be a Math Teacher of the Year award ceremony done in partnership with Jamaica National.
So we're invested in education in a huge way. And then of course we sponsor the Teacher of the Year award because we believe that math is important.
But the major highlight for the week is the annual National Mathematics Expo on Thursday, March 10. It's being held on the grounds of the old library at the University of the West Indies, Mona, starting at 9 a.m. Thousands of primary and high school students, along with scores of educators and other stakeholders, will be in attendance.
This has been the main event for Math Week. We've grown from roughly about 3,000 students in the first year in 2013. Last year we just got to about 6,000 students and teachers attending the expo. We have expanded to about 47 exhibits this year with a number of other activities to engage the students in throughout the day. And our main aim through the expo is to engage students in learning math and doing things that are mathematically based, that are fun and interesting. We're trying to fight against that general perception that math is boring and drab, and try to engage students in a way that brings about enjoyment.
We're really not aiming to make it so much a teaching experience as much as an experience where 5 years from now they can look back and remember a day when they were excited about mathematics. And it's about changing the culture, changing the attitude, having them believe that the math that they're doing in the classroom, that they're struggling to see the relevance of, there is that this math is being used in the world of work out there.
There is always an easier way to math, there is an easier way to look at it, and you can relate the strategies to things in daily life.
The talk about math has to change in Jamaica. We have to stop making it seem like something from out of space and impossible, because our children buy into that. Continue to spread the message that math counts.
Don't make diseases spread. Wash your hands with soap and water instead. Wash them regular or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure the germs them dead. Touching your eyes or your mouth or your nose. Wash your hands before you do things like those. After you use the bathroom before preparing food, come on, wash your hand them clean.
Students at home watching, are you among those who hate math? Do you feel like no matter what you do, you just can't pass the subject? Listen, there is hope. And as you'll see next, other students like yourself are learning to love the subject.
2, 2 is 4, 2, 3,
Many can recall reciting those lines in their first mathematics class, beaming with confidence as the timetable reels off the lips. But as the days multiply and square off into years, math is evolving into a feared subject, with many succumbing to that fear and failing exams. But fear not, help is on the way. Unfortunately, for some people, just the thought of numbers freaks them out. Addition, multiplication, and division are frustrating computations. But the reality is, the ability to apply mathematical concepts to real-life circumstances is necessary for one's development. Math is about problem-solving and analytical thinking, skills required to be a productive member of society. A significant number of students at both the primary and secondary levels is not performing up to standard, a reality that's been captured in benchmark national exams.
Generally speaking, across the system, from the very earliest stages, we're beginning to see students struggling with the subject.
The students themselves do know the importance of math and want to excel in the subject. So when a group of them were offered an opportunity to change the statistics, they accepted. These students packed an auditorium at the University of the West Indies, Mona, during summer 2012 for a 3-2-1 math camp.
X union Y union Z equals, and then you write down all of those.
I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to do a car business, like sell cars and rent cars. Math is important because with selling and renting cars, you'd have to need calculation.
People keep on telling me, but then I'm saying I really don't like math, so. And then because I really want to do it, I'm after getting involved in math.
The Ministry of Education is adamant students must do well at math. The development of the country rests on it. But realizing this goal means eliminating the fear harbored by some students.
Once they're not getting things right, they start getting things wrong. The fear comes in and that just perpetuates the problem.
The culture of fear for math can also be perpetuated by parents.
The cultural acceptance that if you're not good at maths, that's all right. You know, I'm not good at it, so it's okay. We've had parents communicate that to teachers. Now, you know, miss, I wasn't good at the subject, so if he or she isn't so good at it, it's all right, don't be so rough on him or her.
That's exactly what educators want to change, because they know that if students don't grasp certain math concepts at an early stage, it can be difficult for their brains to appreciate the subject later.
One of the things I used to do is drills, timetable drills, because what will happen sometimes, they get used to the calculator, they don't understand the patterns and get the logic, so that later on they get something, put the information in the calculator, it gives them a wrong answer because they've put in something wrong and they don't realize it.
This brings into the equation the competence of teachers. Teachers must be qualified to identify the challenges faced by students and groom their minds to understand the concepts. And the educators need to enter the classroom freed of their own fears.
There was a survey done in 2009, I believe, by the ministry, and I think 20% of the primary teachers at the time spoke to being afraid of the subject and spoke to wanting not to have to teach the subject. We have teachers who come into the classroom, they pass on their gaps and fears to our children who become our future teachers.
It's going to take time, but with a clearer plan and everyone on board, the government is determined to solve the problem of mathematical failings, and we are all a part of the equation. So if you excelled in the subject, help someone who is struggling, whether it's a relative, a neighbor, or a friend. 1 + 1, helping each other, we can achieve 100.
While the government plays its part to increase numeracy among students, parents, you too have a major role to play. We went out a road to hear some views.
I send them to start the class that they may have an extra lesson, okay, and that will help.
In order to improve maths with students going to school, I think they should do it in a musical way, since they listen to music almost every day, so maybe they will learn that way because they catch on to music very fast.
Help me to study.
I think parents need to be more hands-on in terms of some of the practical things they can do with math, real-life examples. So instead of going to the book to say like 10 + 10, they could actually have like physical stuff that add up to 10 + 10 and be more hands-on and thing.
Yeah, spend time with them basically. To spend time with them and
Help them go through like their homework as it relates to mathematics.
Just spend more time with them children. For the parents, them not have the time for them children, so the children them just let go all about.
I will just show some more interest in them, spend some time with them, sacrifice some time, and if you just give them some assistance, and then we do much better.
I would say math and music. So math to music, you know, like how kids pick up songs real easy and stuff. At home, find a beat, find a song that a child likes, and yeah, do the math to that.
Spend more time with the child. I mean, you know, you have evening classes, you know what I mean? Send them to evening class, you know. Put in the extra work, you know what I mean? Teacher alone can't do it. You know, school alone can't do it. Of course, you have to send them, you know, to further themselves and so forth.
Not liking maths, then you can just say goodbye to any of these professions. Claims adjuster, chemist, engineer, sociologist, even nurse. Welcome to another week of School Zone. I'm Tamara McHale, and today we give you highlights of the Ministry of Education Maths Expo, held under the theme Math Revolution equal Economic Solution.
There was an even more serious goal to the day's activities, as captivated students listened to presenters sharing the importance of mathematics in various professions.
It doesn't matter where in the world you are, what subjects you like, or what decision you have to make. Math is the first thing that you have to consider.
There was even one presenter from as far as Singapore, the country which ranks the best in mathematics and science globally, according to results from the Trends in International Mathematics and Science study.
Mathematics in Singapore is different. There's a new methodology in mathematics. Okay, we call it the CPA concept, concrete, pictorial, and abstract. Along with it, we have methodologies like the bar modeling. It's used widely now. We have spread the word across the world.
In the CPA method, you move from actual objects around you, concrete, then you create pictures, pictorial, and the final stage is using math symbols to connect it all, abstract. This helps students picture numbers and sizes in their minds so they can work out mathematical equations. With the help of 32 exhibitors, 6,000 students from 200 schools across the island, maybe even yours, got to working it out.
10-gram pieces, and the aim of the 7 pieces cut from a square, and they're supposed to create those designs that you see out there by combining the shapes.
The vertical movement and the horizontal movement just by counting on this. We went to to the right, so it's positive, and went up, so that is also positive. So it's 6 over 6, which is 1. So the gradient is positive 1. Yeah. Y equals x plus 1.
I'm very elated. I'm thinking that the Ministry of Education is now heading in the right direction.
This Math Expo, I must say it was rather fun and interesting.
That the CXC exam is coming up, it's very beneficial because we can learn a lot from this.
There's always an easier way to math, there's an easier way to look at it, and you can relate the strategies to things in daily life. For example, the lady was talking about algebra, and she was saying that you could look on algebra as dressing up. So you would put on one garment at a time. And when you realize it is really simple, it's just like everyday life.
Hi, this is Tessan, and I want all you young people to listen to me very carefully. Crime doesn't pay. You can do so much with your life. Don't throw it away in some gang. Stay in school and work hard for what it is you want. It's up to you. Your future will be determined by the decisions you make. Remember, a gang is a dead end.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
She will when she can find a man who knows her worth. 'Cause a real man knows a real woman when he sees her.
This International Women's Day, the focus is on gender parity. Essentially, this is about creating a balance in the opportunities for women and girls in the same magnitude as for men and boys. Let's hear more from some of our leading women.
It's a day to mark the significant achievements that women have made and the contributions that we've made and continue to make to the improvements of daily life in terms of leadership and in terms of just, well, every aspect. Women are at the heart of every aspect of life.
Is intended on highlighting and recognizing the role of women in our society, respect for women, ensuring that we as a world, not just as a country, but as a world, allow for equal treatment, equal respect, equal recognition. As a beneficiary of a single parent and a mother who grew me up, I fully appreciate that.
A day to reflect on not only how far we've come, but how far we still have to go, and what are the obstacles in the way of women achieving their best potential.
'Cause a real man knows a real woman when he sees her.
I have a daughter and I have a son, and what I have instilled in my daughter from the very beginning is that she can do anything that she wants, anything that she thinks she would be good at. I give her the opportunity to try it, and I will give her every opportunity that I've given to my son, or that I will give to my son.
I have a lot of nieces, so I would just like to instill the mark of confidence in them, to let them know that they can go for it and make their mark in this life. There's no opportunities that are limited to them. There is no job that they can't do. It's equality across the table.
Happy International Women's Day.
And I say to all the women of the world, Happy International Women's Day.
Baby, I know you're worth it.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, more than a supper.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Was with passion in your heart. Make a plan and stop all the idling. You think I saw we reach a the aging. I can, you can. Like our Olympians, every Jamaican can.
Whenever you feel the fear sneaking in, just be brave. And remember, Jamaican ends with the words, I can. So students, you can pass maths. And women, you can break the glass ceiling. And on that hopeful note is how we close the pages of today's magazine. We invite you to share your comments by email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Remember to also keep informed through our website and social media platforms. I'm Theodore Henry, and on behalf of the hardworking team, thanks for watching Jamaica Magazine.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.